Frank Kent started in the automotive industry back in the early 1900s. And at that point, he actually was having to show people how to drive a car as opposed to drive a carriage.
So if you think about it, the Frank Kent family in the automobile business goes all the way back to the start. In the 1920s, he ended up with a dealership in Lubbock. That was a Pontiac GMC dealership.
And from there, he partnered with a guy in Fort Worth named Sanford Webb, and they had a Buick store named Webb Kent Buick. And then in 1940, he was awarded the Ford franchise. So from 1940 to 1952, we were a Ford distributor dealer in the state of Texas and Fort Worth, and actually I think we were top 2 in the country at the time. And then Cadillac, GM reached out to him and said, we'd like for you to be our distributor for Cadillac for Fort Worth and Western Texas.
And so he had West Texas and a little bit South Texas and obviously Fort Worth, Texas for it. And so that took us from 1953 into where we are today.
And we started downtown at Main and Lancaster, and we're there until the early 1980s. And then we moved from there out to the traffic circle, which is at 377 and 183 in West Fort Worth. And then in 2012, we moved the Cadillac store out to where it currently is, which is at 820 and Chapin Road in West Fort Worth off of Loop 820.
So our history really goes all the way back, 4 generations, now 5th with my son. And so Frank Kent and Fort Worth has been around since 1935.
Frank Kent was my great-grandfather, and he's the one who instilled the founding principles of Frank Kent into our family, which is morals, values, and ethics before profit. With Frank Kent, you knew his handshake was his bond. If he said he was going to do something, he did it. And that is still what we are founded on today and still what we strive for every single day in our business.
Everything that he did always put the customer first. And that's an easy statement to say, it's a tougher one to follow up on, but to solidify that fact, he was inducted in the Automotive Hall of Fame the same year as Mr. Honda. And so very few dealers have been awarded that opportunity to be into the Automotive Hall of Fame. And the reason that that happened was because of his focus on the customer.
So at the center of everything we do at Frank Kent is morals, values, and ethics before profit. Our great-grandfather, that was his vision, and that is still our North Star today. So everything we do, we put it through the lenses of morals, values, and ethics before profit. So whether it's dealing with customers, whether it's dealing with our employees, or if it's how we look at our community, we always go to the morals, values, and ethics before profit. And it does cost us some money in the short term, because there's a lot of ways to make quicker money, but it falls outside of putting your morals, your values, and your ethics before profit.
And all that goes back to the foundation that Frank Kent laid back in the 1920s when he started in the automotive industry.
Our great-grandfather instilled in us the importance of giving back to the community in which we reside.
Anything that had to do with Fort Worth, he was involved in, and just had a true passion for the community that he called home.
I think there's a lot of things that make Frank Kent unique.
We're still locally owned, which is different than the vast majority of dealerships that are corporately owned.
The fact that there's still a family behind that dealership that you're trusting your business with is a big deal.
The company was founded by our great-grandfather, and then our grandmother took it over, and then our mother took it over.
And then it was passed down to Will and I for the 4th generation. And then someday we will pass this on to my nephew Cash as the 5th generation.
I was just reading an article today by the Harvard Business Review that stated that only 3% of all dealerships get to the 4th generation. So the fact that Corey and I are 4th generation puts us in the top 3% of all dealerships when it comes to still family-owned dealerships. And so that tells us, we're doing the right thing. We're handling our clients the right way. We're working with employees the right way. Because if not, you wouldn't get it down to the 4th generation. And we want to set this thing up so that Cash can actually be the 5th generation. And when I read the Harvard Business Review, there was no category for 5th generation. So if 3% is 4th generation, I have to assume 5th% is 0. So we're going to be the 0.0001%, and they have to part a new bar for us. So that's our goal with generational business.
Typically in the automotive world, most dealerships don't last past a 2nd or 3rd generation. So we're very honored to still be carrying on the torch and hopefully taking the company to bigger and better heights.
A lot of people can say a lot of things, but it's really the awards you get from outside influencers and the manufacturer you work with that kind of proves that what you're saying is true. And we are actually one of the few 3-peat winners for the Dealer of the Year award. And we've only won that 3 times in our history, and we did it back in 12, 13, and 14. And so those are the 3 years we won Dealer of the Year. Now we've won Master Dealer all the other years, which is still the top 10% of all CADILLAC dealers. But when you get into Dealer of the Year, that's the top 1%. So we're super proud to be delivering the customer experience that's being recognized across the nation as a result of winning the Master Dealers and the Dealer of the Year award.
Frank Kent's been around for over 80 years. We've got a lot of employees that's been here 30 years and longer. It's a great place to work. The atmosphere at Frank Kent is not your typical dealership atmosphere. The employees have a great time working here. When the people come to work in the morning, they want to come to work here.
But what's really special is when our employees have their sons or daughters that want to come work for us. And so that really tells you, you know what, we're doing the right thing, because anytime a mom or dad can say, hey, I want my son or daughter to come work where I work, that's when you're doing the right thing.
I've been here 21 years and I couldn't think of a better place to be.
So at Frank Kent, our selling philosophy, I would say, is a little different than most. If you look at what we've done with used cars, we've gone to haggle-free pricing. And so we don't want to play the games with the client. We didn't get here today by doing that, and we're not going to get there tomorrow into the 5th generation by doing that. So on the used car side, having haggle-free pricing works super well. It gets clients in and out very quick. So on the new car side, when we look at how we price, the prices we put out there are what everyone can qualify for. And then there's additional rebates that other clients can qualify for based on private offers and what the manufacturer says. If you look at the way a lot of other dealers go to market, they throw everything out there whether you qualify for it or not. And then when they bring you in, then they correct you back down to the correct price of what you qualify for. And they get a lot more traffic that way. But for us, that's not putting our morals, values, and ethics before profit. We don't want to just sell you this car. We want to sell you cars 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we have a lot of families who are on their 5th generation of buying cars from us. And we truly believe that the reason that is because of the way that we go to market, the way that we sell the cars, and the experience that we give them.
Our great-grandfather instilled in us the importance of giving back to the community in which we all live and work. And Will and I absolutely love living in the city of Fort Worth and love giving back and continuing our great-grandfather's spirit of community involvement. It's at the core of who we are, is to give back to the city in which we live.
So our slogan that we've selected is community-driven and locally different. We are 4th generation. The only reason we're 4th generation is because the community is taking care of us as Frank Kent, our employees, and our family. We understand the responsibility of that, and so we need to give back. And so that's where community-driven comes. Now, locally different, that means a couple of things as well. What locally different means is that we're still family-owned. So locally, that makes us different than the majority of dealerships that are owned by corporations. Also, locally different means that we do things differently. Whether it's our haggle-free pricing, whether it's the way we're marketing, whether it's our transparency, whether it's the way we sponsor and engage with events, all that is different. So community-driven, locally different stands for a lot of things, but it really stands at who we are at the core, along with our morals, values, and ethics before profit.
CADILLAC Wines was created to offer our guests something unique and something different, which is what we try and do in each of our stores. And it really fits in with who the CADILLAC client is. All dealerships are the same, and Will and I really do try and create different offerings inside of each store so that our guests experience something unique when they visit us. At CADILLAC Wines, we always have somebody on staff who knows wine and can help you find the perfect wine for your event, special date night, or whatever it is that you're looking for. We do try and create unique events for our guests each month, whether it's a taste and go or a wine dinner that go from wines from Napa or wines from around the world. Every event is unique and different, so our guests get a unique and different experience.
And that has garnered a ton of press from the USA Today, Washington Post, New York Times, Automotive News, and our customers are really liking that amenity and is also pulling people into the dealership that wouldn't typically have come. So what we've kind of done is we've become the people in Fort Worth that are probably leading thought into what is an automobile dealership should represent and what it should be.
So to address our clients' needs for personalization, we started Frank Kent's Custom Concepts. We've been in the vehicle customization business since probably 2001 through various names of different companies, but Custom Concepts is what resides here in Fort Worth, and we use that to take clients that have needs that want to personalize their vehicle, whether it's black out a vehicle, add stereo systems, front and rear radar laser detectors. I mean, our saying is where stock ends and custom begins. So anything that their mind comes to, we can handle that, and we get to keep it all in-house, and we can finance it in with the purchase of a newer used vehicle, which helps a lot as well. And it's all done at one place at one time, as opposed to you buying a vehicle, having to go drop your car off somewhere, don't have a car to drive. So our clients are really liking Custom Concepts. And then what we've done down in Ennis is we've started Lion Claw Jeeps. And what Lion Claw Jeeps does is it answers that need for personalization for Jeep specific. Jeep owners really love their vehicles and they really love to personalize them. So to make sure that we could deliver that same Cadillac Custom Concepts that we have in Fort Worth down in Ennis, we started Lion Claw Jeeps. And at Lion Claw Jeeps, we do the lifts, the tires, the wheels, the bumpers, anything you could want. And we also work on pickups doing the lifts and tires and wheels too. Lifts and tires were something that we didn't do here in Concepts because we weren't comfortable doing the lifts. But in Ennis, we've got a really good team down there that knows what they're doing. And so we're comfortable working in the lift space now. And so that was kind of the last little piece of the puzzle that clients were asking for, was to do lifts with the bigger tires and wheels. And now we've addressed that with Lion Claw Jeeps. So we have a lot of commercial clients, and one thing that we run into with commercial clients when they buy a vehicle is they want to get the vehicle wrapped, they want to get it lettered, and so we can wrap anything from semi-trailers to cars to just doing simple door decals, any of that stuff. So once again, that can all be financed in with the car deal, or it can be handled outside, but it's handled at the time of sale, so you don't have to buy your car, be out of it, go drop it off somewhere, run through the process. We can guarantee delivery times because we're controlling the entire process, we're controlling the quality, and we're standing behind it.
So the Frank Kent logo is a pretty unique logo in the sense that for the first 60 years, we didn't really have a logo or a company color. So my sister and I set out to kind of define ourselves as what is our logo, what do we stand for, and a way to take it and turn it into something more fun. So the logo that we came up with, the predominant part of it is a part that we call the bug, which is the circle with the FK. The reason there's a circle is that no one side is greater than any piece, and everything with our customers is circular. So we try and put ourselves in their world so that everything comes all the way together. There's 4 dash marks down through the middle. The reason there's 4 dash marks is we're the 4th generation in the automotive industry for the Frank Kent family, so that's why there's 4 dash marks. The letters are lowercase. Most logos, they're uppercase. We went with lowercase because our customer is greater than we are. And then if you look at the logo, it's tilted just a little bit to the left, and the reason that we did that is because we're laid back and we're just a little bit different, we feel, than the rest of the other car dealerships. And on top of it, our corporate color is now purple. And the reason for that is we have alumni that went to TCU, myself included, that graduated. And when you see the purple, we want them to think of TCU first, Fort Worth second, and Frank Kent third.
Our animated character is one of the funnest things that has come around in the advertising and marketing that we've done in a long time. He's animated, he's fun, you've seen him on the commercials, we've taken him to Mayfest, and he just really brings life to our logo, and it's kind of a fun way and a family way for us to take Frank Kent out to the people and just to bring a different element to our brand, because typically brands are so static. And he's fun and he does different things, he flips, he flops.
He's got the big fluffy hands, and his shoes are looking like little Chuck Taylor Converses with the FK bugs on the side, and he gets into a lot of mischief. So with him, it's trying to control him and keep him relegated into the environment he's in and not get in too much trouble.
So at Frank Kent, in order to take care of our clients, we really needed to add trucks into our portfolio. To not have trucks and be a dealer in the state of Texas is a really tough ask. And we, as Frank Kent, we're getting a lot of clients asking for help with trucks. So to address that need, we went out and we purchased a dealership down in Corsicana, Texas. And we call it Frank Kent Country, and it's Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac. And that has opened up our truck portfolio to allow us to take care of the needs of our clients. It's a country store, everything's still done on a handshake, which really fits with who we are as Frank Kent. So Frank Kent Country really has been a positive force, and it's allowed us to take better care of our clients. Another location we added to help address our clients' needs was our Ennis store. And so at our Ennis store, we have a standalone Chevy store, and then we have a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram store. And that helped us because we were getting a lot of clients that needed a different style of work truck that we couldn't provide to them with our other dealerships. And then also with the Jeep brand, it's just a fun brand, and a lot of clients are driving Jeep Wranglers, and so, we needed to try and help them in that sense. So we found the dealerships in Ennis, they really needed to have that family brought back into them. They were once family owned, and now bringing that family back into them, getting back into the community, you can see a positive light in Ennis. We're super excited about it, and it's beginning to show a lot of progress, and we're happy to be in Ennis, and we're happy to be a part of that community.
Dream Park is going to be a universally inclusive playground built in the heart of Trinity Park. Our mission with Dream Park is to create a playground where children of all abilities can play side by side without any visible barriers to their play, thus helping children to play and realize that there's no difference between them and other children, whether the child has special needs or not, where children just get to be children and to help them grow and play together. It's truly going to be a playground unlike any other playground. We're bringing in solid surfacing, and we're going to do the elevation changes just simply by manipulating the elevation. So we're going to limit ramping. Anything that's visible to children to where they would see a difference of why a child goes that way or this way, we're eliminating all of that as best we can. Dream Park is the passion of my sister-in-law, Rachel Churchill, and myself and Sandy Mesh. My sister-in-law went to Wisconsin and took my nephew to this playground, and she didn't even realize that it was a universally inclusive playground. And it was so amazing and so wonderful. She came back and started doing some research and realized that there's truly nothing like it here in Fort Worth. And so at that point, we made it our mission to build a universally inclusive playground in Fort Worth. Dream Park is going to cost us around $3.2 million to build in Fort Worth, and we were really choosy on where we wanted it to be, and we worked with the city long and hard to put it in the heart of Fort Worth in Trinity Park. We wanted the playground to be accessible for children of all communities, and we really kind of felt that this was a central location with easy access for children, whether you're on the north side, south side, east, west. It really has a truly accessible location for families traveling anywhere. And is also going to be a huge amenity to parents who maybe have kids at Cook Children's to come down, or people that are at Will Rogers. We really wanted something that would have a high utilization rate. We're really excited to make inclusive play a reality in Fort Worth.